Kangal dogs are not just a different breed, they're a different species. Whatever tough dogs you could think of, looking at you Pitbull fans, a Kangal would not only be able to defeat them, it would wipe the floor with them, just like it does with some of the most dangerous wild predators. Come and see. I watched this clip multiple times, and I still can't wrap my head around it. These two Kangals somehow managed to sneak into some kind of animal reserve. We're talking tigers and lions and stuff, but here's the kicker. The dogs weren't scared at all. They were actually running the show. They marched right up to the big cats and started eating their food and messing with them. The tigers and lions just stood there, looking confused as hell. Then things got wild. One of the Kangals went after a tiger, a freaking tiger, and knocked it to the ground. The dog was going to town on the tiger, but the tiger was barely fighting back. The tiger was big enough to tear both of the dogs apart, no sweat, but for some reason it was scared stiff. The whole thing was just absolutely nuts. When this massive grizzly bear spotted a farm nearby, it brought its cubs along, trying to teach the little ones how to hunt, but things didn't go as planned. These two huge Kangals caught wind of what was happening, and the dogs were no dummies. They figured out the bear's game real quick, and instead of going after the big mama bear, they went straight for the cub. It was brutal. They started tearing into the little one, trying to do as much damage as possible. Their plan? Make the mother run off with the cub before they kill it. The Kangals were relentless, just brutalizing the poor thing. The mom went crazy, charging at the dogs to give her baby a chance to escape. It worked. The cub managed to get away, and the bear took off after it, which was what those crafty Kangals wanted all along. Four kids were heading home with their German Shepherd tagging along behind them here. They strolled past this massive Kangal that was on a leash, and that's when things went sideways. The Kangal started barking at the German Shepherd, but the Shepherd simply moved over to a nearby streetlight and decided to take a leak, which was a very big mistake and a very big no-no in dog world apparently. The Kangal went ballistic, thrashing against its leash. It was too strong for the leash to handle, and next thing you know, the leash broke and the Kangal charged full steam at the German Shepherd. The Kangal was going to town on the Shepherd, just wailing on it with everything it had. The poor German Shepherd was doing its best to fight back, but it was clearly outmatched. Being its friendly self, this poor Husky spotted a group of dogs and got all excited, thinking it was playtime. All happy and clueless, it rushed over to join the fun. But boy, did it read that situation wrong. As soon as it got close, things went south real fast. One of the dogs, a massive Kangal, went full beast mode. It grabbed the Husky and just started wrecking it. We're talking serious, no-holds-barred violence here. The Kangal dragged that Husky around like it was nothing, slamming it to the ground over and over. Poor thing came in all playful, and the Kangal responded with pure savagery. It learned a very harsh lesson about assuming every dog wants to be friends. A massive black wolf spotted a shepherd with his flock here and started howling like crazy, trying to call its buddies over. But the shepherd wasn't alone. He had several Kangal dogs with him. One of the Kangals didn't waste a second. It saw the big wolf and went straight towards it. The Kangal slammed into the wolf like a cargo train, and the two of them began fighting. We didn't get to see what happened in the end, but my money's on the Kangal. So these guys were out walking their Kangal when they spotted a random dog by the road that looked really eager to meet the big dogs. One of the owners thought, why not, and brought his Kangal over for a little doggy meet and greet. At first, everything was cool, but then, out of nowhere, the other dogs started getting all worked up and aggressive. The Kangal didn't tolerate that nonsense, though. It was like, all right, time to teach you some manners. It didn't take long, just a quick scuffle between the two before the man managed to pull the dog off. It was clear the Kangal had the upper hand, and that dog was very lucky the fight ended like it did. All alone and on a leash, this Kangal had to face an entire pack of wolves that were looking for something to eat in the middle of the night. Despite the odds being stacked against it, the fearless dog didn't back down an inch. It stood its ground like a fortress, staring the foolish wolves down. The wolves stopped in their tracks, and you could almost see the gears turning in their heads. They sized up this beast of a dog and did some quick math, and suddenly, They weren't so sure about their odds anymore. This shepherd had taken his flock out near the woods to graze on some grass, and he had his 2 trusty dogs with him, including his massive Kangal. They were all just chilling when a small bear showed up, hoping to score an easy meal. The Kangal spotted the bear from a mile away somehow and took off like it was Batman going to catch the Joker. It attacked the bear like it had a personal grudge, and when the shepherd saw what was going down, he completely freaked out. He dropped everything and ran over, trying to break up the fight. But man, that Kangal was like a tank, huge and unstoppable. The guy kept wrestling with his own dog, and he somehow managed to pull it off of the poor bear, and miraculously, none of them were seriously hurt. While walking his giant Kangal, this guy passed a leashed Pitbull. The Pitbull got all riled up, and it was like it had a death wish or something. Maybe it had been listening to too many You Can Do Anything podcasts, but it was all fired up and ready to take on this beast of a Kangal. The Kangal couldn't have cared less though, and it was probably holding back laughter even. It just stood there, barely even acknowledging the Pitbull's existence. It was like watching a lion being yapped at by a Chihuahua. The Kangal didn't even flinch. As this dude was out walking his cane Corso in the park, another guy happened to be standing there with a massive Kangal. The moment those 2 dogs laid eyes on each other, the cane Corso started going nuts, barking at the Kangal like it was trying to pick a fight. The Kangal started barking right back, but here's the thing, the cane Corso was all talk and no action. It just stood there barking, not making any moves. The Kangal's owner was struggling to hold it back as it kept pulling and dragging the poor guy along. The Corso's owner had a good grip on his pooch, but for a minute there, it looked like things might get ugly. The Kangal's owner managed to yank his dog back before the 2 could go at it though, and a crisis was averted. These 2 were just dying to get to one another and fight it out, but thankfully, the 2 hostile dogs were leashed and kept under control. They were so close, yet so far. I would be lying if I told you that I didn't want to see how a fight between them would have turned out, but it's kinda hard to imagine the Kangal losing, even though the other dog does look like a born killer. What do you guys think? You think that dog would have had a chance against the Kangal? I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. We plan on making many more of these, and we'd love it if you join us on our journey. Oh, and turn on your notifications bell if you want to get notified when we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.